Hello everybody, welcome to the Tuesday Tips from the Pro Mat Check. Today we're actually going to go over some of the TPI stretches and how to keep your lower back in tip-top shape and how to make sure you prevent yourself from getting into a lower back issue later on, or for some of you that already have lower back issues, these are kind of the stretches that we go through TPI and to make sure the lower back is in safe shape moving forward. I have David Ford here with us, one of our great junior golfers here at the club. He's going to do the stretches. I'm going to walk you through it and talk to you. Again, as we do these stretches, you may want to hit pause on the video, do each stretch for a minute or two, and then hit play and go to the next stretch. We're not going to take our time. We're just going to get through it quickly. First off, let's talk about the lower back. When you have issues in the lower back, the main root cause of that is most often going to be tight hamstrings. Okay, so we're really going to show you some hamstring stretches, and we're going to do some floor stretches before. After the hamstrings, the hips and the glutes, weak hips, weak glutes are going to put stress in the lower back as well. So that's just some things to kind of tell you before we go into it. I'm going to have David start on quadruped position here, all fours on the ground. He's going to his wrist under his shoulders, knees straight under the hips. And he's going to do what they call cat and cow, or arch and round throughout the spine here. So go ahead and arch up and round down. And again, we'll use his breathing through this. Inhale, arch up, exhale, round down. And then he's going to go to some side bends here, and he's going to turn and open up the chest from side to side here. These are all good to kind of warm up the spine before we get into other stuff. Okay, the next thing I'm going to have David do is what we call bird dog diagonals into an airplane. So his right arm, we'll start with left arm, right leg, straight out, opposites. And then from there, he's going to go straight out to the side with both and back. And just take your time with these. Go ahead and let's go back and forth between each side. So go to the other side. Go right out. He's trying to get that tabletop back, straight out, and out to the side. Breathing, taking his time throughout these. Good. So from here, one of my favorite stretches that needs to be done daily is what I call the downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, he's going to bring his knees off the ground, and his hips are going to go up to the sky, and his heels, if you can't get them up to the ground, which is fine, most people can't, you may want to do one at a time, what they call the runner stretch. And let's do the other one. And then from here, you may want to take his hands closer in. And the objective here is to get the spine and the arms on the same line. So as you see here, his arms are a little vertical, his spine is more horizontal. So I'm going to have him kind of put his hands out a little farther. I may give him a little push here to really get this line through both of them. You'll feel a real good stretch through there. And make sure you're breathing throughout it. Now from here, we're going to go into what I call cobra. He's just going to drop his knees to the ground, point his toes back, drop everything down to the chest. Yep, he's already into his cobra. Now this is the best stretch for the lower back. If you only have time to do one stretch, this is what the best stretch is. Okay, so now all the way back down to your chest. Just fall down. He wants to put his hands more into a push-up position, right outside of his chest. And he's going to breathe and push all the way up, keeping his thighs level, just like that. The best stretch for the lower back. So we'll do a couple more of these. Very, very good. Okay, from here we're going to roll over to our back. And the lower back, you kind of get the blood flowing through pelvic tilting. So with David, we're going to try to raise the lower back and push the lower back into the ground. And he's just doing that by rotating his pelvic bone forward and up. So he'll go forward and then he'll rotate it up. And you'll feel the lower back kind of loosen up, kind of get the blood flowing down there so you get good circulation and it repairs itself much faster. So after a few pelvic tilts, now we're going to push the back all the way to the ground. This is a great starting position for the glute bridge, which is the next exercise. So his heel's going to come under his knees, kind of just outside the reach of his hands, so a little bit closer in. And when his lower back's flat, he's going to put his arms a little bit more out to the side at 45 degrees. And he's going to push those hips up ever so slowly, up, 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 up. Now Now he's into a good glute bridge, which is a glute strengthening exercise, which is also very good for the lower back in golf in general. It's the strongest muscle in the golf swing. So you want to make sure your glutes are very strong. As you come into here, you want to make sure your glutes are firing properly. If you feel it in your lower back, that means that you're not able to fire your glutes properly. You might want to try it again. From here, he's going to go right knee into his chest. And keep that left hip up and stable. Bring that knee all the way in. Good. Then he's going to go to the other side. Left knee into the chest. Keep that right hip up and stable. Good. Now he's going to take his feet wider than the mat. And push up and open up those hip flexors in the front along with strengthening the glutes. Now from here, he's going to put his feet all the way together. Knees together as well. Push up. Feet in a little bit farther. Good. Push up. Good. Now, keeping the knees touching, he's going to extend his right leg straight out. And then he's going to switch over to the left side. Push that straight out. Good. Now I'm going to have David go ahead and fall down, roll to his side, kind of like he's sleeping on the side kind of here. He's going to have his bottom leg bent, top leg straight, hips stacked right on top of each other. And he's just going to do slow, or not slow, but short. He's going to go up and down, okay? And when he comes down, he's going to pull his toe in. When he goes up, he's going to pull his toe out. He's going to go back and forth 15 to 30 times. And this is going to really strengthen the glute med, the outside, and the hips, and hit everything together. So just back and forth, yep, in and out, in and out. You'll really feel this one starting to burn farther as you go in. It takes a little coordination. He's doing a great job bringing the toe in, toe out, toe in, toe out. And you want to turn around and do that on the other side as well. But we're going to skip that step for time's sake. So let's go ahead and stand up here, David. Okay, so stretching the hamstrings is a funny thing because a lot of people, when they bend over, they tend to round their back. And that's stretching the back more than the legs. If we want to hit the hamstrings, we want to make sure our back stays nice and flat. And as we bend over, we don't want to lock our knees out because that's going to give a hyperextension in the back of the kneecap, and that's not the hamstrings. We want to keep the knees slightly flexed or really flexed, whatever the feeling is till you feel that in the back of your leg. So he's going to start, I'm going to put this across his back, and he's going to bend over, bend over, bend over. He's going to start to feel it here or here. Those are the two places we're looking for. If he's feeling it in here, we're not helping anything. We're actually hurting ourselves by stretching the wrong tendons, not muscles. So this is very good. He's going to feel stretched. He's going to come back up. And another way, my favorite hamstring stretch is to grab the club behind you with the palms facing you. And you're going to go down. This arms keep the backs flat. And you're going to get these arms perpendicular to the ground. Keep on going, and you'll really feel this back in your hamstrings. That's very good. You see how flexible David is to get those arms all the way up to perpendicular to the ground. And this is your best hamstring stretch, in my opinion. Now from here, he might add a little bit of turns from side to side. It's just an extra little golf stretch. Feels really good throughout the thoracic spine, or the T-spine up top. Good, okay. Now from here, we've kind of stretched the hamstrings, we've kind of strengthened the glutes, we've strengthened the hips. I'm going to give him a break, and I'm going to give him a good kind of relaxing lower back opener to kind of finish off our little 5-minute stretch here. I'm going to take the mat, I'm going to move it straight up to the wall. David's going to sit sideways right next to the wall. And from here, he's able to take his feet, throw them up on the wall, and then lay down the mat. And have his feet straight up the wall.
Close to the wall?
As close as you can get to the wall, as long as your lower back and your pelvic bone is down. Now from here, just lay back, let your head down. 2 minutes a day. Really good stretch to open up that lower back. Everything is extended, with the feet being up, the lower back flattens on the ground. And then from here, you can work on the T-spine. Maybe take your arms out into anywhere like this. Make sure you get these forearms down to the ground. He can go into a diamond overhead. He can move around. He's going to really feel extension through his spine here, and through his lats for that matter, in everything is stretched properly. So he's gonna stay here, whatever feels good to him. What I like to do is kind of take one foot off at a time, and that's gonna kind of strengthen those hamstrings too. Now the right foot off, left foot. You might try both feet off and hold there. That will work your core as well. Good. You can go wide with these into a wide. You'll feel that through the inside of the groins. That's another good one to go with. And from here, he's going to put his feet flat on the ground and get both feet as wide and low as he can. Flat on the wall. And from here, you can really push the lower back down into the ground. And you can really open up and extend that spine as far as you can. Because in the normal day, our upper back gets a little rounded and our lower back gets a little arched. So this is taking it and really pushing it in both directions and strengthening as it kind of lengthens the spine. He's going to have a lot less friction throughout the spine, if I should say so. Okay, so that's kind of a little run through of the lower back and how to stretch it out properly so you can stay on that golf course all year round with no issues. Thank you for watching.